Welcome back, super-centex Podcast. Michael, Chad, and Bryce. The gang's all back together again. And, gentlemen, it's starting to feel a little like fall.
A little bit. I'm still rubbing my eyes a little bit from last night, the 18-inning Dodgers game, but, whatever.
As Ernie Banks said, let's play two.
They did play two. Yeah, I got a north wind blowing today. We're going to have highs in the 60s the rest of the week. So, and
bring it on.
Michael last week confessed to being a weather nerd and sort of lived up to that throughout the weekend. As we obviously had some crazy weather last weekend.
Certainly. Yep.
No doubt. Well, we've also got some good football coming up this weekend. So after a couple of really big ones last week, we've got another rather large district title showdown this week at Waco ISD Stadium when undefeated 6th-ranked Brenham faces University, which, like the Cubs, is 3-0 in district. So forget the outcome. I mean, you can break it down if you want, but do you think these kind of games help a team as they get ready for the playoffs?
I think so. I mean, I think a game like this where you're playing a state-ranked team, from the U-Dogs' standpoint, I mean, this will help you for when you get to, what is it? Who's all in that bye district? It's like Randall and Texas City and Iowa Colony and all that. I mean, whoever you get in that draw, and I know it probably won't be Randall if University finishes 1 or 2 in the district, but I mean you're gonna need to be battle tested to beat one of those teams in that bye district just to get out of the first round, which University is trying to do for the first time since 2022. So a game like this against a Cubs team that's playing, fast, they're confident, they're physical. I mean, it's one of the best teams in the state, for a reason. And I'll tell you what, I think the Cubs probably didn't put together the best game last week against Ellison, but a win's a win, and they're cleaning stuff up this week. And I think we all know they're going to be ready for the challenge.
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point, Bryce, with this question because University, the Belton win, 6-point win over Belton, they're a decent team. Rutter's not very good, right? And Waco High is not very good, so they haven't beaten a real good team, probably since that run of China Spring is a better team than their record indicates. So that was probably University's best win of the season to this point. And they need to be competitive with Brenham to feel like they have a chance to win playoff games.
Yeah, because if you're going to make a run in the playoffs, as Michael said, they're trying to get to the second round and beyond. These are the kind of teams you're going to face, and and you're going to have to beat really good teams. And I just think, like Chad said, if you keep it close, if you make it a game, there's not only confidence that comes out of that, but there's just experience. I mean, these coaches will talk about experience all day long because they know how valuable it is. And Michael, you wrote about it this week. It really played out in those 2 big district games last week. It did. Chilton-Bremond and La Vega-Robinson.
Sometimes that's all it takes, man. Just having guys who have been there, done that, and seen those storms, know how to. Because I mean, when adversity hits, like you got to lean on something, and some guys just have to kind of learn through trial and error and like that. And I think something that does bode well for University is a lot of these guys on the roster have really been in a lot of moments like that. So you would have to at least think that, they're at least up for the task on paper, but we'll see when they're actually in between those lines if they can hang.
Well, one dude, and he's definitely a dude that University will lean on is London Smith. Michael has a feature story coming this week on London. He's just an athletic marvel. There's no question about it. I first learned about him when he was playing Heart of Texas soccer. A friend of mine had a kid on the same team, and he was like, this London Smith, man. When you're playing hot soccer, if you're fast, that goes a long way. And Michael can hit on it, but he learned a little bit about those soccer days. It feels like London is just one of those athletes who you put him out there, football, basketball, soccer, whatever. I'm sure he could do track. And he's going to be comfortable. He's just going to be like, okay, yeah, I can do this. Who are some other Centex athletes that you've covered that are like that? And where does London sort of rank?
I'll let you go first, Chad.
Okay. Yeah, the sort of story that comes to my mind with London Smith doesn't have anything to do with things that I've seen him do on the field, but I was doing a feature on the university basketball team 2 seasons ago. I think it was like kind of a mid-season feature in 2024 season when he was still a sophomore. And, sitting there in the coach's office, and he comes in. I think of all things, he might have been wearing a Texas Tech T-shirt that day, but, just randomly, right? But, I mean, as a sophomore, he had...
You liked him immediately after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew who he was, and maybe I was wearing a Texas Tech T-shirt. I don't know, or hat or something. Anyway, I obviously knew who he was. He'd been on the scene for 2 years by that time, 2 full football and 1.5 basketball seasons. And, of course, his dad, Rodney, is assistant AD at Waco ISD. And even though he was a sophomore, he looked and carried himself in the way that college athletes do. When we see guys, and especially back in the day when we actually got to have access to guys outside of, like, when they were in normal everyday life, kind of in their college scene, that there's a sense of professionalism because of how long they've been doing it, and to the degree to which they're working their craft, and being very intentional about getting treatment, eating what they're eating, everything down the line, because they know what's at stake. And you got that feeling from London at that time. And I don't know, I think because his parents are in athletics, that probably honed him to be that, because I don't know how many. Now, like when you saw Jelani McDonald in high school,
I was about to say, yeah, he was one of those guys.
College player,
Yeah.
that was a college player in the making. And there have been, I think John Hubert from Midway turned out to be a great Big 12 player at Kansas State, but there was he was great for Midway. And he seemed to have a good head on his shoulders, but even he didn't like give that kind of like, yeah, I'm a college player doing this right now for the moment until I become that, until I'm officially that. So he's going to fit right in at Baylor. When you talk about ranking him, like I said, I don't know that I've seen that many guys just that demonstrated that kind of poise.
I might be still in Bryce's pick here. Now I will say London
No,
is
I don't think so. Go ahead.
London's at the top when it comes to what we're talking about here, the ability to just probably be comfortable playing anything. I mean, London's doing it at the 5A level. You don't really see that too much in terms of just being individually dominant across multiple sports. But a couple classifications down, one guy that I've always kind of been really impressed with in a lot of different sports is Kellen Collins out in Mahia. Obviously, you guys have seen him play basketball. He's phenomenal. That's his primary sport, but he can get it done on that football field too. And I'll never forget talking to Coach Aaron Nowell out there. I just asked him one time. I was like, what makes this kid so good just to do it all? And he was like, it's funny. He said, I think if you put a baseball bat in his hand, I don't think he'd make himself look foolish. If you put a golf club in his hand, I don't think he would embarrass himself out there. Like some of these kids nowadays, and I'm not saying kids in the past haven't been this way too, but he's like every now and then you'll just come across a kid that's just comfortable and just athletically gifted to be able to kind of do it all. So he's the one that came to mind along with probably Quay Willis out in La Vega.
I'm gonna jump in with one more. In terms of playing a lot of sports and playing them all well, Kavion Gaither was that way at Connolly. That's another guy at Connolly. I mean, we had so many Connolly athletes of the year in a row there that you could just kind of go down. Kobe Black. I mean,
Kobe and Corey.
I would say the Black brothers. Yeah.
Kiefer Sibley. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Yeah, for sure. So there's still some guys out there that I'll mention. First of all, do you guys ever watch a Dude Perfect, those videos?
I used
Well,
to.
I'm not. I'm not a 12-year-old boy, so not really.
I freaking love Dude Perfect still to this day.
You are a 12-year-old boy, though.
That's true.
That actually fits Bryce like to a T. I could see
Uh-huh.
Bryce just enjoying watching Dude Perfect.
Oh, absolutely. And where I was going with that is Tyler's the one that it doesn't matter what sport it is. Tyler's always like, he can do it all. And it can be something stupid like, all sports golf where they're hitting, golf balls with a hockey stick or whatever. There's been so many guys like that through Central Texas. I mean, you mentioned the Conley guys. He was built different, but Andrew Billings was very much that way at Waco High. State champ power lifter, great on the football field. Chad will remember Raymond Taylor at Belton was that kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But the one that really just like jumped to mind for me, and we've talked a little bit about him on the pod, is Parrish Cox from University. Mm-hmm. He played in the NFL. It didn't matter what sport it was, football, basketball. He made the state track meet and was, I think, a long jump state champ. And this does feel like a good time to tell the Where's Garfield story, because I don't think I've actually told it on the pod, have I?
We talked about it, about Waco ISD Stadium a couple weeks ago.
I don't think I told it on the pod, though. I think, okay, so the Where's Garfield story, because the statute of limitations has run out. University's playing Midway, and University has had Midway's number for several years in a row. And this looked like the year that Midway might get them. And Midway had a really good receiver named Garfield Hicks. We're not trying to diss on Garfield here. Garfield was also an excellent soccer player for Midway. And I believe Chad wrote the preview, but I want to say it said something like, and it was pretty innocuous. It was something like, one matchup to watch will be, Midway receiver, Garfield Hicks on University's Parrish Cox. Well, clearly, like that little comment just set Parrish off. He went crazy that night. University just rolled him. After the game, I go down to interview Parrish, and he's just all around his teammates. And they're all just hooping and hollering and just having a good time. And I try to kind of pull him away so that I could get him away from the guys, but they were still sort of nearby. And he was holding court, man. And so I start to try to ask him about the game. And he's just like, "Where's Garfield? Where's Garfield? The only Garfield I know is a big old fat orange cat." And I was like, I can't use any of this. This is trash talk. I'm not going to be your purveyor of trash talk, but it was it was so funny. And Parrish went on. He was great at Oklahoma State. And like I said, played in the NFL for a number of years. So he was one of those kind of athletes, and one that I'll never forget for a lot of reasons.
I didn't see the big orange cat story coming today. So
there you go.
That's a great one.
All right, so let's get to some rapid fire rundowns of some other games that I think are going to be pretty interesting this week. So, Chad, since you're covering this game, you get Gatesville-Robinson, and Michael, you take Frost-Mart. I will take West and Grandview. So, Chad, what you got on the Hornets and the Rockets?
Okay, so I think this is a little bit of a mirror type of matchup with Gatesville and Robinson. Without getting into the nitty gritty of what both teams have in the trenches and who might win that battle, which ultimately it's probably going to come down to that. But think about it this way: if you break down offensive skill positions, you've got Garrett Keaton, Cy Burns, and Amos Phillips on the Gatesville side, and then you've got Bryce McCurdy, Evan Moreno, and Dylan Medlock on the Robinson side. And with some other pieces.
If they're going to play 1920s baseball, Gatesville's got them.
Yeah, so Garrett Keaton hit me up on Twitter this week after I made a Lou Gehrig reference in my live tweets on Friday night. And he says he is in fact named
which
for
did not
Lou
surprise me.
Gehrig.
If your name's Gehrig, you're named for Lou Gehrig.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, especially Gehrig. You know, what else could it be? And so I responded by asking him if Cy Burns was named after Cy Young, and he
that
said
seems
he
less
was
likely.
not.
That
Actually,
seems less likely.
I did not ask if Amos Phillips was named after a famous Amos Cookies.
Cookie guy. All right, continue your thoughts. Sorry to interrupt.
And even within, I mean, when I said mirror each other, it's really not a true reflection, because the skill sets of those players that I just mentioned, those 3 versus 3, those triplets versus triplets, are really different. I mean, I think without being too cliche, or without wanting to be very cliche, and I'll just go ahead and be cliche. Gatesville guys seem like more of like lunch pail guys, like go to work and grind it out and get it done. And
I think they would even say that. Like, I think they would even kind of like embrace that, like themselves.
And then,
so.
Yeah, and then the Robinson guys seem like, you know, the Flash, you know, the flashier of the bunch. And maybe I see it that way because McCurdy is getting more attention, you know, from colleges and things like that. But, you know, both of them go over the top. I mean, that flea flicker play that inspired the Lou Gehrig reference on Twitter on Friday night, that was, you know, is a flea flicker and then over the top to Amos Phillips. Now, Amos Phillips still made a few people miss as he got to the end zone. I was pretty impressed with the way Cy Burns ran the ball the other night. And then, of course, advantage Robinson in that category still, because Evan Moreno is probably the best running back in our area this year. Yeah,
he's certainly up there.
Yeah,
and here's the deal. I think, and I picked Robinson, and part of that is because I've been around a long time and I know better than to pick against the team when you're going to that school. You know, I don't have any kind of any shame about that, you know. Just
hey, they might have immortalized you on a ring if you piss them off. I mean,
all right, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's not go down that rabbit hole today. But I picked Robinson. But what I actually think maybe is that Gatesville has a better defense than Robinson does, and so
that's true. Yeah.
I think that could be the determining factor. Although home field advantage is big, momentum, it's hard to account for momentum. And that's why I think, and Robinson has been in some pretty good fights. You know, the fact that they came back and beat Glenrose in that game, which I saw, this will be my 3rd time at Robinson this year. So I picked Robinson, but that was mostly because I think it's a toss-up game, and I'm going to Robinson's field, and, you know,
you didn't want to deal with
Don't want to pre-ruffle any feathers. As we've seen, they can get ruffled around there.
They certainly can.
Certainly.
So, Michael, I don't know at the beginning of the season if we would have circled Polar Bears Panthers as a game to watch, but you know, it shapes up as a pretty good one.
It's going to be interesting. I think this is, you know, kind of Frost's best chance to really give itself a chance to make the playoffs. You know, I mean, they're kind of the way it's looking right now, that there's a chance they could kind of be the odd man out, because it looks like Bremon's going to take it. It looks like Chilton's going to be right there. This is District 10 2A, Division 2, by the way. And then it looks like Goldthwaite could maybe sneak in 3rd, or Mart. You know, Mart has the chance to beat Frost this week and then Goldthwaite next week and maybe find itself 3rd. But it's getting a little clumpy in that, you know, 3 to 5 range for that district. So it's a huge week for both programs. Frost has played good football in the past, but man, Mart's really good, guys. I know they weren't able to get it done against Bremon or Chilton, but I mean, if you look at the games that they've played since then, you know, they've played Wortham, beat them 61-8. Went to Hubbard, beat them 61-0, and then hosted Meridian, beat them 70-0. So 192 points in 3 weeks. I mean, that's going to get it done, especially
even when you're playing, you know, the lesser opponents.
Sure, you still got to take care of business.
You've got to take care of business, and clearly Mart's starting to ramp it up.
Yeah, they're
I
playing
just
good.
thought
They're
of
playing good
this.
football.
Somewhere not far from here in the land of 2A Division II, there's a team that's having a really good season and is starting to look around, and they realize they're going to get marked in the second or third round
Yeah, no
or
doubt.
first round.
No
It's
doubt.
possible, man. I mean, that just goes to show that this is probably the best 2A Division two district in the state. I mean, if y'all can find me a better one, please, because I don't think there's a better one.
Well, and as I think Chad maybe pointed out, like Frost is going to be a pretty good team that, like Michael said, may not make the playoffs. I mean,
They're a good team. I mean, Edwin Alvarado just scored 6 touchdowns last week. Their quarterback, he's really good. I mean, and they brought back, I think, 4 of 5 or all 5 offensive linemen from last season. I mean, Chad and I saw them in the ice bowl.
I think Philip Gibson's done a great job there.
He really has.
I hope they're listening to this, and I hope they're getting all riled up, and they really want the game, and maybe they'll prove us wrong. But
because I mean, I think all 3 of us are going to pick Mart. So yeah, absolutely.
Mart.
Maybe they can surprise us.
All right, so I got the West-Grandview game, and a few numbers for you on this one. So 6 out of 8 games this season, West has given up 7 or fewer points. They've only given up 69 points all season. They've had 4 shutouts. That Dustin Soders coach defense, which it is Soders, I believe. I was this year old when I learned that. I had been covering Cary for years, but I was at a West volleyball game. Chad was there that night, and they introduced their daughter and said Soders, and I was like, I always thought it was Souders. So
one of my favorite authors, Chuck Klosterman. I think most people, when they see his name, they think it's Klosterman.
Sure.
And even on audiobooks, like the narrator of an audiobook will say Klosterman, but he says Klosterman. So I think that O sound kind of can go either way.
Yeah,
for sure. Don't call me Conine.
All right. Well, that was 45 seconds that we probably wasted, but nevertheless, I took us down that rabbit hole. So obviously West's defense is good. And Michael mentioned it a couple weeks ago, Dub Crane really starting to kind of find himself. That West offense is picking up steam. Here's the thing though. It's the classic cliche. Something's got to give. Grandview has scored over 50 3 of the last 4 games. Now, it's against the Grosbecks and Maypearls of the world, okay? And I do think it's telling that when Grandview played Whitney handled them 34-7. It was not especially close. I don't think this Grandview team is like one of those sort of classic 12-13 win get Grandview teams. But this has been a really good series. So here's some other numbers. Last year, Grandview 20, West 17 in overtime. 2 years ago, it was 21-19 Grandview. Last time West won was 2022, 38-21. So I like West in this game. I think the one thing, and I think Coach Woodard will do a great job of this, like you can't look ahead to that Whitney game. You know, if you look ahead, that's how you're going to stump your toe. But it certainly sets up, if West can obviously get past Grandview, Whitney takes care of business this week against, I think, Grosbeck. Then you've got 4-0 versus 4-0 for the
it's kind of the game of the week next week, isn't it?
District championship. That'll be a humdinger. So
absolutely.
Should be a fun.
I just did my picks earlier today, and I don't know, like there's a few toss-ups this week.
There are. And another one, if we'd had a fourth guy to break down a game, and I guess we could break it down together real quick. I mean, Fairfield-Palestine-Westwood's a really interesting
man. Very interesting.
And here's the thing. I don't know why, but I can't get any info on Kavion Bryant.
I have some. Some. So he did play in that last game. What ended up against Tig. What this is according to some folks in Fairfield. Apparently Tig got a few guys back from injury that really made a difference, like playmakers, like out wide and stuff, just skill position guys. And another factor in that game, because obviously those Fairfield coaches are going to look at the film. Palestine-Westwood got inside the 5 like 2 or 3 times and didn't score. So, I mean, I know the score, like the spread of the score was, more than that, but like I think if Palestine-Westwood may have, executed a little bit better early and maybe took care of those new TIG additions or re-additions, whatever, a little bit better, I think that would have fared better for them. But no, Kavian Bryant did play, so
Nice.
Okay. All right. Well,
good win for the
great win for
Huge
Tig
win.
then.
Yeah.
By the way, when we're talking about toss-ups, before we move on to spooky Halloween mascots, I gotta say, at least right now, I'm sitting there at 80% for the year on picks.
And I will say, Chad, yes, and like congrats on that, but I also want to, tip my cap to you because like you have taken some swings I've looked. I mean, like you're not just playing it
Clifton
safe all
last
the
week, I
time.
think I was by myself on that one. So yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like you're. I mean,
Yeah,
I
there's
remember
been some games, toss-up games that have gone Chad's way.
Definitely.
I feel like his luck's gonna run out.
Well, we'll see.
As the umpteen defending picks champion.
I'm
still
making that up.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna have Win look it up. Win's good at that stuff. All right. Yep. So Chad referenced it, stole my thunder. Thanks to some Michael research, we learned this week that this is the first Friday night Halloween in 11 years. Which I don't know. I'm not good at math. It seems like it would have happened more often than that, but
I agree.
Yeah.
Because leap years.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
My question, as Chad said, is this: what is the spookiest Central Texas mascot? Who do you not want to see knocking on your door? And I will put it this way. Like, we're talking about more than just the furry mascot costume. If the real thing came knocking on your door, want to see.
There's always a superstition about the black cat crossing your path, the Mahia black cat. But the thing is, my neighbor, she just lets her cats roam around, well, I guess mostly my house and her house in the yards, but most of the street. And one of them is there used to be one that was just a black cat. And that would give me chills every time I'd see it walking across my driveway as I was trying to pull
I'm sending the black cat over to your house so that so your picks lock.
Jinx me on picks.
Yes.
Well,
the black cat can have my picks. Just don't mess with the Red Raiders.
Would a black-footed cat count as a Mahia black cat? Yes or no? Do y'all know what a black-footed cat is?
No.
So from my I wish I could show y'all a picture of it. So anyway, back in my news time at the Trib, I did a story on a black-footed cat that got added to the Waco Zoo. And those things are like deadly. Like they're real small, they're kind of cute looking, but like they can like tear you apart.
I think the Mahia black cats are all black, not just their
okay, then I think that doesn't count. But I mean, some other ones that came to mind. I mean, would you want a Waco High lion showing? I mean, like, what are we talking about?
Or a Teague lion, either lion.
Yeah, right. I mean, and then also like pirates can be kind of nasty and mean.
Yeah, but people get pirates all the time. They're porch pirates. Like, come steal your Amazon package.
I mean, man, but like a real pirate, like they're gonna rob me,
All right, Chad, did you have any others?
Nah, I think any kind of a big cat. If you open the door and there was a big cat there, it's not
exactly a leopard,
spooky.
A tiger.
Yeah,
like so when you talk about spooky, you need like a clown or the guy from Black Phone or something. Like, what if it was like the Bruce Valetti guy from Black Phones? With the grabber, he's called the grabber, the Bruce Valetti grabbers. Yeah,
the Aquila clown from It's.
yeah. Or there's no clowns, Hank Aaron played for the Clowns.
Yes, it was a Negro League team. Yes. All right, I'll give you two. That Itasca Wampus cat It's a mythical cat. It maybe has black feet. Who knows? But it's a mythical cat. It's probably got mystic powers. It's going to do something to you. And then the other one I wouldn't want to see, probably a team we haven't talked about all year on the Super-Centex podcast. I don't want to see the Penelope Wolverines coming to my house.
That's a good one.
And I'm not talking about the little furry Wolverine. I'm talking about the guy with the claws.
Wolverine.
And I know that's not what Penelope is. It's not the Penelope X-Men, but
it'd be a lot cooler if they were.
It'd be a lot cooler if they were.
Well, what about like a Robinson rocket? Like, what if it just explodes in front of you?
Yeah, if it's
pointed not at your spooky, just dangerous.
It's pointed at
fair.
your.
That's fair.
Yeah, you open your door and there's a rocket. Yeah,
it just blast off. I mean, what are we talking about? You know?
Yeah, that's not good. That's
not
good. All right. Well, everybody enjoy Halloween. I have already put the kibosh on Halloween leads.
Although I had a haircut just now, and my barber said she does makeup, so I may show up as the Joker anyway.
I love it. Chad, as you referenced, we'll be out in Rocket Country.
Gatesville at Robinson. Yep.
Gatesville-Robinson. Should be a fun one. And then Michael, where will you be?
I will be covering the Brenham Cubs at the University Trojans, Waco ISD Stadium. So district championship on the line.
It was so weird to me when Brenham ended up in one of our Central Texas districts, because that's the first time in my entire time at the Trib that my old high school was up this way. I mean, it's a long way. It's almost 2 hours.
And wait, so you go from a kitten to a cub, right? Is that how that works in Brenham?
That's correct. Okay. I'll be at the Midway Bryan game. It's senior night for a lot of kids, including my child. So we'll do the walk and do the things, and the family will be there and all that stuff. So, all right, we'll talk about it more on the After Dark. See you later.